Perfect. It's you two. I have a commission here that has your names written all over it. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say you're the only ones for the job.
The only ones for the job? Huh. If our help is really that important, it's probably some Archon class commission, right?
The Adventurers Guild doesn't employ that kind of classification system. In fact, this commission is also probably not nearly as intimidating as what you're expecting. All it asks us to do is to find a missing person.
Huh? Then why did you say we were the only ones for the job?
I came across this commission while reviewing our backlog not too long ago. It seems simple, but our records indicate that over a dozen successive efforts to complete it have all ended in failure, despite attempts by several accomplished and renowned adventurers. With the reputation of the Adventurers Guild and the performance of the Sumeru branch at stake, it's in our best interest to assign this commission to the adventurer with the highest completion rate over the past few years.
Well, that's us for sure.
All I'm asking is for you to give it your best shot. If it proves to be beyond your capabilities as well, I'll talk to the commissioner about
Okay, so who are we looking for?
This commission was jointly issued by the residents of Vimara Village. They say one of their own villagers has gone missing. But the problem is, they don't know the missing person's name.
They're all from the same village, but they don't even know his name? If so many adventurers have failed to complete this commission, maybe this...
Unlikely. Several villagers came by to issue the commission, and judging by their appearance and tone of voice, they seemed... Besides, putting up a commission requires a processing fee. There aren't many upsides to a prank that costs Mora to carry out. In any case, it would probably be best to go to Vimara Village and ask around first. The Adventurers Guild does have some information on hand, but I would say anything you can learn directly from the villagers would be far more reliable. The best way to avoid misdirection...
All right then, let's go! I'm unstuck. We made it to Vimara Village! Why don't we talk to some of the villagers to learn a little bit more about the missing guy? If this commission is really as challenging as Catherine made it out to be, we're gonna need to carry out a very detailed investigation.
Place for a vacation. Hello there. You looking to buy something? I do business in this area.
Oh, no, we're adventurers. Catherine sent us to look into a commission here in Vimara Village.
Ah, so you're here about that then. Ah, you're not the first, that's for sure. We've certainly made a lot of trouble for you all. To be honest, we aren't holding out much hope. Many adventurers have made their way out here, confident they'd be able to help us, only to leave soon after with nothing to show for their efforts. We've pretty much had it up to here in questions, and the area around the village has practically been overturned in search of clues, but no one has been able to make any headway.
So, this person we're looking for, what's his name? Where did he live? Does he have any relatives?
I don't know. I really have no clue. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, guess you are really sick of answering questions.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound short with you. I was actually just giving you my answer to your questions. I know it may seem like we don't have anything to offer by way of information, but I promise you, we all have a very strong impression of him. When you live in the same village as someone, you develop a lot of memories together, you know? We just don't know the specifics, Maybe we did at one point, but that information is long gone by now. At least that's what everyone in the village seems to think. We've all exchanged what we know, and that was the only logical conclusion.
All right, specifics aside then, what kind of person was he?
Young guy, in his early 20s probably. Incredibly kind sort of person, always willing to lend a helping hand. I'd chat with him when I didn't have any customers. I even saw him stick out his neck for others on more than one occasion. Very interesting guy, that one.
Now that you've started talking about him, you don't seem nearly as down in the dumps as you did before. Seems like he left a pretty good impression on you.
But of course, everyone in the village is pretty fond of him. We wouldn't have issued that commission otherwise. There aren't many young people like him nowadays, so genuine and pure. To think that he just up and disappeared one day. I just hope nothing bad happened.
Could he have just moved away without telling anyone?
No, he's not the type to leave without saying goodbye. And anyway, moving away without being seen by a single person in the village, there's no way he would have been able to manage that.
Huh. All right, thanks for the information. We're gonna go ask around some more.
It's that guests I hear.
Hi, Grandpa Amadea. We're here to help you look for the guy that's gone missing.
Ah, so that's what brings you to these parts. Coming all this way for our sake. That's so very kind of you. With your help, I trust that young man's case is in good hands.
Could you tell us a bit about him?
Of course. I'm happy to help any way I can. With my failing eyesight, I'm afraid I can't offer much about his appearance. But I do remember hearing the sound of his voice. Not recently, of course. That loss has left me feeling quite empty. I don't think his parents are still living in the village. But somehow he never seemed lonely. In fact, he was usually the one offering companionship to others. He would often take time to visit the elderly or play with the orphans in the village. And whenever someone had something on their mind, he was there to listen with open ears. He always knew just what to say. As the village chief, I owe him many thanks. Helping villagers navigate difficult moments in their lives should have been one of my responsibilities. But he was often the one rising to the occasion.
Wow. He seems like such a nice and gentle person. No wonder his disappearance affected you all so much. But, you wouldn't happen to know any details about his name, address, or family situation, right?
I'm ashamed to admit it, but I just can't remember. No matter how you look at it, I should know those things. But for some reason, no matter how hard I try to remember, the information just doesn't come. Perhaps my age really has caught up with me this time.
It's okay. There's no need to force yourself to try and remember. We'll figure something out. Well, Traveler, what do you think? Paimon thinks so too. Like, the name thing. It's so weird that no one remembers his name. And nobody has been able to tell us anything about his family or where he lived. It's like this guy's been erased from reality or something. Wait, so you're saying it's not that he's been erased, necessarily, but more like he... Okay, Paimon's gonna need...
You two are the adventurers who just arrived, right?
Yep, sure are. We were just...
My name is Atosa, by the way. I grew up here in Vimara Village.
Yeah, no need to worry. We'll give it our... Is this the place?
Yep. I know it doesn't look like we used to always sit together under this tree and talk. Sometimes we would look up at the clouds in the sky, or... I was actually adopted by the people of Vamara Village. The forest rangers found me in the woods as a child. I was surrounded by such good people, and growing up in the village was so lively. Still, there were times when I couldn't help but feel incredibly alone.
Alone?
How should I put it? When something's bothering you, or when you have good news to share, you always want to talk about it with somebody. But for the longest time, I didn't know who I could talk to. Everyone has their own problems to deal with. Really? You know exactly how I feel?
Aww.
Wow, that sounds really nice. You're quite lucky. When it comes to our missing villager, well... I guess you could say that to me. No matter what came my way, I knew I could always talk to him. He was so thoughtful and pure. Ever since he disappeared, there's been so much I wanted... No, none of those things matters now.
Wow. You two must have been really close. Did he ever tell you anything about himself?
He mostly just talked about interesting things he saw around the village. Oh, right! I did ask him about his parents once. I didn't know whether that meant they had left the village or passed away.
Still not much to go...
Look at me. The last time I talked this much in one go was... come to think of it. Every time time always passed by really slowly.
Well, time always seems to pass slower when you're relaxed, right? What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, look at those hilly trails over there. Doesn't it seem like they're acting a little strange? The Abyss Order. Could they be the ones behind all of this? Uh-oh, we've been spotted! Quick, get ready to fight! It's been a while since our last adventure. Paimon wonders how many Baron is getting along in Symbiolanka. Let's go to the Forest of Blessings and take a look!
You're in for a little shock.
Get in gear!
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Frost is coming!
Come a little closer. Going out is tiring.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Prepare!
You're in for a little...
Get in gear! Frost is coming!
Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting monsters to show up. If you hadn't been here, I'm not sure what I would have done.
It was no trouble.
Now that I think about it, the hilly trolls around Vamara Village have been a lot more active lately. They seem agitated and would often attack anything in sight. Chief Amadea doesn't allow the children to play in the area around the village anymore.
Maybe the Abyss Order really is involved. Well, we should head back and check out the situation in Vamara Village just in case. If the Abyss Order is plotting something that could spell trouble for the villagers. second. The person... It's Dainsleif!
Ah, it's you two.
Oh, a friend of yours? Well, I'll leave you all to it then. I should head back to the village.
Yep, see you later, Atosa! Why do you always have to pop up out of nowhere like that?
It's hardly personal. Or in...
Ah, so you're here to investigate the...
Naturally. Hold on. No matter. The Abyss Order is most certainly planning something in this area.
So you think the Abyss Order is behind the Hilly Trail?
As things stand, I highly...
Still, the Hilly Trail activity is causing a...
The best way to protect them is by figuring out what the Abyss Order is and you shall have them. Don't worry. There should be ample time. Ah. So that was the commission that brought you... Someone who seems to only exist in people's memories. That is indeed quite intriguing. It appears all we have by way of clues is increased hilichurl activity.
Right! That mysterious voice she heard in her brother's memory.
Traveler, let me ask you this. Do you believe your sibling to have betrayed you? I sense hesitation in your words. After all, you still haven't figured out the whole There's still hope for the two of you to reconcile. Irreparable damage, the sinner you wish to know about. His situation is different. His name is Vedderfolnir. I'm loath to admit it, but he is also...
Your brother?
There were 5 of them. The 5 sinners of Kanria. The wise Roptatir. The visionary Vedderfolnir. Gold Rhindaughter. The foul Sertologi. No matter how eroded my memory may become, I will never forget their names.
Wait, some of those names sound really familiar. Rhindaughter is the one who created Albedo. Sertologi is Skirk's master. And the one we just learned about, Dane's brother, Vedderfolnir. If he was the voice of the sinner, then the one who inspired Clotar to create the Abyss Order... What?
They were once people of great esteem in Kanria. Those who carried the hopes of the nation. They were the best of their 6 of us. Together. We should have been the ones to prevent the disaster. Yet, deep within, so they became sinners, but also transcendent beings. And when the cataclysm occurred, not one of them stood up in defense of their nation. Not indeed. If they are not stopped, the day is sure to come when, of course. As I said...
So, Dane, what have you been looking into all this time?
I've continued to investigate the questions surrounding the Loom of Fate. It's by retrieving the eye of the first field tiller.
Oh, Paimon remembers! Weren't they going to use it to corrupt Docile and make a gun?
Indeed. However, it's obvious that was just some sort of... The eye was integral to their plan. Yet somehow, despite failing to obtain it, there are many signs pointing to that effect.
Then, what should we do?
Our most pressing concern is to determine the purpose of the Loom. Based on the intel I've gathered so far...
The ley lines?
Traveler, you were able to observe your siblings' memories last time, yes? My recent investigation has shown that Abyss Order activity in a particular area is usually followed by a series of issues with the ley lines.
Wait, then our commission here in Vimara Village. The person who seems to exist only in people's memories.
It's certainly possible. I'll join your investigation tomorrow. This missing persons case could very well turn out to be the key to unraveling these mysteries.
Well, if we're teaming up with Dane again, we're gonna need all the energy we can get. Let's try investigating somewhere a little further away tomorrow. So tired. Paimon used way too much brain juice yesterday. It's all Dane's fault saying all that complicated stuff. Well, let's go find Dane. We've got a lot to do today. Dane? Hello, Dane? Why are you just zoning out over here? Did something happen?
The missing person from your commission. Could you describe them to me?
Oh, young guy?
There appear to be certain memories in my mind that memories of him.
Maybe we just talked too much about him yesterday and you had a...
No, it wasn't a dream. And I'm certain I've never met this person before. I remember handing him the eye of the first field tiller.
What? Okay, so this missing person definitely has something to do with the Abyss Order then!
Indeed. And it appears he possesses the ability to implant memories into the minds of others.
Wait then. All the memories the villagers have of him, could they be fake too? Maybe they never knew him at all. But why would he do something like that?
Whatever the Abyss Order is planning, an important truth has been revealed to us this morning.
What sort of truth?
That their goal is still to obtain the eye of the first field tiller. They haven't stopped searching for it. I am the only person who knows its location. Perhaps implanting that particular memory was an attempt to interfere with my mind in some way. Your concerns are not entirely unfounded. However, considering their single-minded, come with me. We must
Oh, so you're going to take us to where you hid it?
Of course.
So you hid it way out here? Not an easy place to discover, that's for sure. Well, let's go check to see if it's safe.
Traveler, wait. We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
Hey, wait up!
Blitz.
Kuma, get them!
Pair! Get in gear!
You're toast!
Pair! Frost is coming! Pair!
Nice and spicy!
Let's light it up!
It appears the mechanisms here have changed over time. You can access the upper floor through the side door. Perhaps you should try reactivating the mechanism over there.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
You're in for a little shock.
Everybody stand!
Commencing cleanup! Frost is coming! Pair! Frost is coming! Get in gear! Pair!
Nice and spicy!
Come a little closer. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock.
Get in gear!
Make sure all the runes are pointing in the direction indicated by the light. That should unlock the mechanism. Ah, the door's open. Let's go. Our destination is just up ahead.
Looks like we can't go any further.
Be on your guard. I sense the presence of the abyss.
It's the Abyss Order! They're here!
Surrender in a moment.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's
Eat this!
pair!
You're in for a little shock.
I'm going in! Let's light it up!
Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy.
time.
Just as I suspected. The false memories were a trap. The abyss. Now that they're in the vicinity, we should have a chance to see.
Dane? What's wrong?
Can you feel that? There's been a disturbance in the ley lines. It must be the work of the abyss.
Wow, you must be really sensitive to that sort of thing. Paimon doesn't feel it.
You too. Do as I say. Use that mechanism over there and leave this place. The Abyss Order is putting something in motion. If you return to Vimara Village, I suspect you might find... Just think of it as a way to divide and conquer. I knew going along with your trap would be the only way to meet with you face to face.
You risked your safety, and that of the Eye. That's quite the gamble, Dainsleif. But I believe that I am the one walking into a trap laid by the Twilight Sword.
So you came here all on your own? What about those followers of yours?
When the Twilight Sword is prepared for battle, any army I could send would only be marching to their doom. Better that I face you alone. I know you must have a lot to say, but if it's a conversation you want, you'll have to defeat me first.
The Abyss Order's on the move. The ley lines are all out of whack. We better hurry back to Vimara Village and see what's going on. Hey, look at those hilly churls over there. Weren't they acting super agitated just a little while ago?
In the New World, they bade farewell to the shrouded sun. At last, they no longer needed to dwell on their suffering, or try to. Such was the price they paid, and thus their souls became cleansed.
Did you hear that? What was that sound just now? It sounded so gentle. Could that voice be... Oh, this is weird. Let's check if this is happening anywhere. Looks like the same thing is happening over here, too. The hilly churls are calm.
You see, we're both still here. We've reclaimed an endless amount of time to love. Release your tears. You no longer need to hold back your sorrow.
Over there. It looks like they're sleeping.
In the end, he whispered softly, Sleep well, Father. Sleep well, my beloved people. When you awake, that which differentiates us shall be no more.
It almost sounds like a poem or some kind of story. Well, now that the Hilly have calmed down, Vimara Village should be safe at least. Let's put this situation to the side for now. Dane said this might be our chance to find...
Get in gear! Frost is coming!
Grandpa Medea, is everyone all right? The Abyss Order seems to be up to something nearby.
The Abyss Order? Thank you for your concern, but...
Well, that's good to hear. Oh, also, you didn't happen to come across any...
Someone's gone missing, you say?
Huh? Well, you know, the young guy from Vimara Village. That's kind of the whole reason we're here
Ah, I do apologize, you two. At least right now, I can't seem to recall whatever it is.
But how is that? Something's definitely not right. We just talked to Grandpa Amadea. What do you think, Traveler? Could everyone's memories of the missing villager have been erased again? You're right. We should narrow down the possibilities first. Let's go ask someone else then.
Someone's gone missing? Who?
Just as expected. That guy you said a bunch of nice things about earlier? The one you always used to chat with. He's around 20 years old, and you said he was a kind, warm-hearted person?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Really? You remember?
There aren't many young people who've earned that kind of praise from me. If you're certain that's what I said, then there's only one person who fits the bill. No doubt about it. But why'd you say he's gone missing? Yeah, I just saw him leave the village. There was someone else with him, too. They couldn't have gone far.
Strange. Bayram seems to remember him. And apparently he just saw him? Do you think maybe it's not that there's something wrong with people's memories, but that we've somehow returned to a time before he went missing?
If this person only exists, if we really did travel back to it, if we really did, time travel is
Right! Paimon totally forgot about the leyline disturbances. We're in someone else's memory. Just like how you entered your sibling's memory last time. That would also explain why we seem to be at a time before he went missing. It's right. If he's someone who only exists in people's memories, then we're finally on the same turf. But didn't Bayron just say that he saw him leave the village with someone? Where should we go look for him? Who knows how long this ley line disturbance is gonna last? We might not have that much time, and we don't even know whose memory this is. Good idea! That'll help us narrow things down. We pretty much figured out that the missing villager has the ability to... Right! That! Could we try to figure out more about him using what we know of his ability? Like, does it maybe leave a trace that would somehow give him away?
All the memories seem to be set in... No. If time was allowed to pass within the false memories...
No wonder! All this time and the sky hasn't changed a bit! That must mean time isn't passing! That's the tell of the fake memories! The implanted memories are basically taking place outside of the regular 24 hours of the day. If the memories included the regular passage of time, it would be easy for people to tell that something was off. Like there could be overlap or something. People might start to wonder why they remember doing two different things at the same time of day. That's why he makes sure the memories take place at a specific moment in time rather than over a period of time.
The color of the sky...
Oh, right! That's exactly what Atosa described!
Come to think of it, every time we talked, it always seemed to be around dusk, just like right now. Time always passed by really slowly. Even when it felt like we'd been talking for hours, the sun would still be at the same position in the sky.
Yep, that has to be it! This is definitely Atosa's memory. Yeah, that's where they'll be.
It's all thanks to Lesser Lord Zerar now going through it
So, you see, Granny Jahiet was a mercenary when she was younger. She just talks like that out of habit. She's not trying to scare the children on purpose. Oh, there I go again. Always talking about my own things. Do you maybe have anything you want to share? It's okay if you don't. You could also just talk about what you think of me?
Oh, I think you're an incredibly strong and thoughtful young woman. You'll meet many amazing people and live a very happy life. You won't miss someone like me.
Huh? Are those your friends over there?
Oh, right! This version of Atosa hasn't met us yet!
Friends? I guess you could say that. It must have taken them a lot of effort to find me. So, I should see what they need. I'm sorry, Atosa. We'll have to continue this conversation another time.
Another time, huh? Yeah, okay. I'll head back to the village then. Talk to you some other time.
It's nice to see you, Traveler. I believe this is the first time we've met.
Dane's brother. One of the five... Born into abject sorrow, he shall now become the Loom of Fate. You're... Kari...
Oh. You know me? That's quite the surprise. Oh, I see. It was the memory, wasn't it? This is Atosa's memory. I came here to say goodbye to her, but I suppose I'll just leave her a message and... I suppose you could call it the realm of my consciousness. I'm someone who no longer exists in the real world, after all. It's nothing. I still have enough strength to play the part of a good host. I've always hoped that I'd get the chance to talk to you like this, and now, the time has finally arrived. Extreme sorrow and pain. Hope and regret coursing through your veins. And a degree of abyssal power that defies comprehension. Father told me that once I possessed all those elements, I would become the Loom of Fate. But, despite his intentions for me, I never truly became the Loom of Fate. I was merely used as a means for its construction. In truth, I died the moment I set everything in motion. The person you see before you now is nothing but a remnant of consciousness left over within the Loom of Fate. As for your question, the Loom of Fate is a device in its primitive form. It can only be used to create and implant memories. But as more of it is completed, its power becomes stronger and stronger, until finally, it has the power to weave real ley lines of its own. Once fully completed, the moment it gains the power to weave ley lines, it loses the lower level ability to influence memories. But it also becomes a tool that can change the entire world. Yes, I have the ability to control the loom in its semi-completed form. I suppose you can think of it as a form of compensation. After all, its existence cost me my life. Ah, that. I was wrong to implant those memories. I'm sorry I caused so much trouble. Not only for everyone in the village, but for you as well. I just wanted them to feel like I once existed in this world. As if I had a chance at life. know what you must be thinking. Why would I do something so meaningless? But I just couldn't accept it. I had to know what it would be like if I had my own life. What kind of person I would be. What other people would think of me. Chief Amadia, Baram, Granny Jahiat, Atosa. What would it be like if I could live alongside them? No cataclysm, no curse. Just a quiet life in a peaceful village. I was curious, so I selfishly tried to have my own life. Even if that meant piecing together the version of myself that could have been. One memory at a time. I know it sounds stupid. After all, my life ended a long time ago. Any chance at living was stripped away from me when I was 8 years old. My consciousness left to mature in an illusory world of nothingness. Even the form you see before you was nothing but an invention based on my father's appearance. An imagined version of what I would look like if I had the chance to grow up. I know. But there's nothing I can do to make them find me. If I could exist in the real world, I would return without a second thought and surprise them with the suddenness of it all. But I know. Captain Dainsleif. Twilight Sword, you mean? No need to meet up with him. Things should already be settled on his end. Exactly. As someone who could only exist in people's memories, the fact that I'm able to talk to you in my consciousness like this can only mean one thing. The loom of fate has already been completed. No need to worry about Captain Dainsleif. He's absolutely fine. The only reason he lost the eye was because I happened to guess exactly what he was planning. Captain Dainsleif has had the eye inside his body this whole time, hasn't he? His plan was to lure the Abyss Order to a false location, capitalizing on their pursuit of the eye in order to have the chance to confront the prince. He would then hand the eye to you and tell you to take it away from that location. That way, Captain Dainsleif could accomplish his own goal and ensure the safety of the eye all at once. A very thorough plan. That's right, because in his mind, he had given it to you already. Before you two entered that false location.
Traveler, wait.
Hmm?
We've no time to lose. Let's head inside.
That was when I implanted the memory of him handing you the eye. Given the tense situation at that time, Captain Dainsleif failed to notice anything out of the ordinary, and took that memory to be real. I'm sorry, Traveler, but I needed the Loom of Fate to be completed. And to do that, we had to retrieve the eye. I promise I'm not trying to conceal anything from you, but I truly have no idea what the Prince is planning. Tevat's ley line system is deeply entrenched in the planet. Creating new ley lines can neither replace nor extend the ones that already exist. In the face of everything they could be planning, I fear I'm too insignificant to even get a glimpse of the bigger picture. In any case, I had my own use for the Loom of Fate, and my goal, at least, has been achieved. You remember my father, don't you? Clotar Alberic. I believe you saw him in your sibling's memory. After he used the power of the Abyss to restore consciousness to my hilichurl form, I suffered from an indescribable level of mental anguish. To comfort me, my father told me a story, that this was a fairy tale world where I had to take on the form of a little monster. That story managed to dispel my fears, even if just for a moment. My goal was simple: to use the Loom of Fate in its near-completed form, when its ability to create memories was at its strongest, to implant a specific memory into the minds of the hilichurls. In that memory, I would tell them a story, just like my father did for me. It was a story of fairy tales and love. But more than anything, it was the story of us. I can't change the world. Not when I lost the very right to exist within it. Implanting those memories, that was the most worthwhile thing I could offer. All that's left of my existence is a wisp of residual consciousness tied to the Loom of Fate. In truth, that trace of my consciousness should have dissipated long ago. My goal was the one thing that allowed me to hold on all this time. But now, the bedtime story is finished. And it's finally time to rest.
Looks like I was too late to see Kari Bear one last time. Kari Bear's consciousness is gone, and this space will soon disappear along with it. Neither of us belongs here. That's why we're not tangible. Were that not the case, I'd love to hug you too. Well, how about a conversation? The chance to just stop and talk like this is certainly not easy to come by. Wouldn't you agree? That battle earlier was tough. The one against Dane, I mean. I didn't expect that after everything, he would still hesitate to raise his sword against me. Were it not for that, perhaps I'd still be no match for the Twilight Sword. The Loom of Fate, huh? I still haven't found a way to utilize it to its full potential. But there's still time. Before the heavenly principles awaken. Yes, for 500 years now, ever since the cataclysm in Conria, there's been no sign of activity. Not long ago, you witnessed the Hydro Archon destroy her divine throne, yes? Such a flagrant disregard for the rules, and still Celestia took no action. I suppose that's proof enough of the Heavenly Principles situation. However, the Heavenly Principles will awaken. We just don't know when that will be, or what might trigger it. You could say that. Just look at Kari Bear. He was so pure and single-minded. The space we now find ourselves is a perfect representation of who he was. Even as a hilly churl, seeing the terrible sight within the mirror wasn't enough to taint his spirit. He brought comfort to the people of this world, even though he was denied the very right to be a part of it. So ask yourself this. Who was it that deprived him of that right to exist? Of course, that's only one example. My feel... Lumine?
You're the only one in this world who calls me that. There's so much I wanted to ask you. But for some reason, I'm not interested in asking those questions right now. There's just one thing I have to ask. One thing I could never understand. Why? Why can't we continue our journey together?
At the end of my journey, I arrived at a place known as the Sea of Flowers at the end. Do you remember? A long time ago, when we traveled between worlds together. You told me you wanted to find a place in the universe where that one flower was in full bloom. To have a place like that suddenly appear before me? Well, would you think of that as a coincidence?
You mean?
I miss you too, Lumine. But as this war continues to rage, and as I continue to seek that final answer, I don't even know how to face myself sometimes. Let alone my own sister.
What's going on?
This space has lost its tether. I doubt it'll be able to exist much longer. In fact, aside from our ability to physically interact with each other, there's something else you should know about this space. With Kari Bear gone, we won't be able to remember anything that happened here. Everything in this space will be wiped from existence, including all memory of our reunion.
You're only telling me this now?
sleepy. Paimon's head feels all fuzzy. Oh, Paimon woke up a little earlier than you, so Paimon will fill you in. The villagers said that they saw us sleeping near the village yesterday. They couldn't wake us up no matter how hard they tried, so they decided to just bring us back here. Oh, and Dane came by just now. It looked like he was injured. He didn't say anything, though. Just made sure that you were all right and left. Kinda seemed like he had a lot on his mind, but that's Dane for ya. Let's think for a second. We were in that memory, and we saw that guy you called Curry Bear. He was the missing villager that we've been trying to find, right? And after that, Paimon doesn't remember what happened. Wait, really? What a score! Well, what happened after that?
Ah, there you are. Sleep well?
Bayram, you sure seem happy. Did something good happen?
Something good? Huh. Wasn't anything good or bad, I'd say. It's just that, well, the village organized another search party yesterday. It didn't feel right to leave all the searching to the adventurers. So there we were, searching away, when suddenly this one guy said it all came back to him. According to him, one day around dusk, he was passing by this one tree outside the village, and he saw our missing villager. There he was, sleeping under that tree all by himself. His parents came a little later to wake him up, and they all left together. It looked like quite a happy family, apparently. And after that, well, we all started to feel like that really is what happened. Kind of strange that we forgot all about it for so long. Oh, and we also remembered his name, Curry Bear. Now, that's not a name you hear every day. Would have been helpful if we remembered it sooner. Well, I hope he's happy wherever he is, and we're all relieved now that we know what happened.
Seems like everyone thinks Curry Bear left the village. That's probably for the best. At least they have some sort of explanation now. Paimon wonders how Atosa's doing. Maybe we should go check on her. If she hasn't remembered like everyone else, we can tell her what happened. Paimon didn't see her in the village just now, so she's probably at the tree. Come on, let's go talk to her. Hey, Atosa, how's it going?
Meu Deus, não acaba nunca essa missão.
Oh, it's you two.
Então quase
I
lá.
was just about to go looking for you. I wanted to thank you. I was part of the search party, so I remember. Honestly, I just can't believe he always seemed to appear out of nowhere, and now if Kari Bear wants me to forget about the time we spent together, then I'm willing to try. I relied on him for a lot of things, but I'm sure with enough time, even the deepest of attachments can fade.
Depois daqui é só Natan.
Okay, I'll admit. I'm just putting on a brave face. I was dumped, wasn't I? Otherwise, why would he just leave like that without saying goodbye? You don't need to comfort me. I'll be okay. It's just like Kari Bear said. It's the things we overcome that make life more precious. And you know, if he has a heart, maybe he'll come back and see me one day. Anyway, thanks for all your hard work, you two. I promised I'd help Granny Jahiet with something, so I should head back.
Well, that should be it, right? Everyone's... Oh, right! Weren't you about to tell Paimon what happened after your conversation with Kari Bear?
Vambora, pai.
A picture? Where'd that come from? Let Paimon see.
E é isso. Das geminhas. Mais um tiro. E acabou as missões por enquanto. Depois nós voltamos com as missões de Arconte, Trono e no Panatã. E segurando os tiros, né? Até zerar o abismo. 85 mil. E dá equivalente a 571 tiro. 571 mais dá 595. 155 tiro do mochileiro. E com os personagens totalmente gratuito. Até aí, tudo bem. Agora é só esperar Natan. E fui.